mind game to put her opponent on hold, but now she joins
All right, ladies,
the chair umpire at the net.
Please, let's face that way for a couple of photos, okay? Any questions? Vika, you want to choose? Heads? That's heads. Receive. Stay. So listen, stay for a few photos and then on your own as well. Thank you. And now just the two of you. Thank you.
Now smiles as they have to be excited, but then it'll be down to business as they head to their respective ends to warm up. And this championship just a few minutes from getting underway in Istanbul.
Well, Kevin, you can also see very quickly when they stand next to each other like that. They're both very tall women, almost identical height.
It's the final match, the championship of the TEB BNP Paribas WTA Championships here in Istanbul, Turkey. Sinan Erdem Dome has hosted this competition all week long, and it has just come down to two. Kvitova, Azarenka, to see who will be the 2011 champion. That's a storied history, the 41st edition of this event, which is arguably the most prestigious in women's tennis. And you look at the names of the players who have won in just the last few years. Major champions all amongst them. Kim Clijsters with a pair, bookending in 2003 and 2010. Serena Williams also, along with Sharapova, Mauresmo. Anna, you could go back and name pretty much any of the greats in women's tennis. Renee, this is a coveted title.
No question. And the one interesting one there, possibly for Azarenka, is Emily Mauresmo. She won the event in Los Angeles, as you saw, a number of years ago, and then really went on to have a terrific Grand Slam year the next year.
Petra Kvitova, the 21-year-old from the Czech Republic. Her hometown is Bilovec, just 6 miles to the west of where she resides now in Fulnek. It's been a terrific year. Finished outside the top 30 in 2010, has marched all the way up to number 3 in the year, and is pushing, as Renee said, towards that number 2 position. She will finish ahead of Maria Sharapova no matter what. And the reason for her ascension this year has been the marvelous results. 5 titles, starting the year off with a title in Brisbane, matching that in Paris, Madrid, Linz, and then the Wimbledon title.
Yes, and the interesting thing for me is every single one of those tournaments that she won had some type of a roof available to it or over it. The indoor events in Linz and Paris, both indoors. Madrid, Brisbane is kind of an indoor tournament. They say it's an outdoor tournament, but for me it's a little bit more indoors than outdoors. And the Wimbledon title, it also has a roof available to it.
Never appeared before. She is 4-0. All 4 matches she's played here this week, well, she's been victorious. We'll show you those matches because they are important. She started her runoff against Vera Zvonareva, ran it off 6-2, 6-4 with a very impressive performance. Then took on the world #1 Wozniacki, just reversed those scores in order. A 4-2 victory against Radwanska. That was a little tougher affair.
Radwanska had her 5-1 down in the first set. She was looking very much out of it, not concentrating on the tennis, knowing that she was already into the semifinals. But it also showed her fighting spirit, that she wanted to not only win but not lose that set, and came running back and won that set 7-6, which dashed the hopes of Radwanska to make it through to the final 4. And a terrific match yesterday with Samantha Stosur. Really, really great display of women's tennis.
Impressive by Kvitova coming back from a set down to move through unblemished. Meanwhile, Victoria Azarenka, from Belarus, born in the town of Minsk, in the center of the country, the capital city of 9.5 million. The 22-year-old also vying for that number 2 position. She too will finish ahead of Sharapova. It's just a matter of whether she can get past Kvitova to take over the number 2 spot or join a former career high, what was just last month at number 3 in the world. And she too has been very impressive. Back-to-back titles in Miami and Marbella, and then won Luxembourg before coming here to Istanbul.
In that tournament in Miami, and then the very following week in Marbella, she went from hardcourt to clay, but she likes to go back-to-back in her winning. And that Luxembourg event was last week, so she's trying to do the same thing here to win her biggest title of her career.
It's her 3rd appearance. She had only mustered 1 victory in 2009 and 2010, 1 win each, and then unceremoniously, if you can, bounced out of the tournament. And this year she has turned everything around. She does have 1 loss, but ultimately she's had a very good run here in Turkey.
Really almost unstoppable in that first match against Stosur and Li Na, really showing the class that she was coming into this event with. in winning in Luxembourg. She had a bit of a hiccup against Marianne Bartoli, who was an alternate and put in front of Sharapova when she pulled out. And Marianne Bartoli was just, you know, inspired, really, really gave it everything she got. But she absolutely came in and really did her business in the semifinals against Vera Zvonareva.
Yeah, didn't need to worry about the result of the Bartoli match. She had already secured her position in the Final Four, but that's kind of a tough way to be handed a loss, but she rebounded against Zvonareva. Now, meanwhile, Kvitova versus Azarenka. This is the third time they're meeting in 2011. Kvitova having won actually 3 in a row. Twice in Wimbledon the last 2 years, including in the semifinals this year in 3 sets to go on to win the title.
It's all out the door now when they're playing in the finals of this event. And Eva Azdaraki very much seated in that chair and controlling the moments out here today. And what a big match for both of the women. No Vika, no Petra, simply Eva. They love even the umpires here in Turkey. And I have to just say, Kevin, what an amazing crowd we have again today for the finals. It's absolutely packed to the rafters.
Literally, and I know for you that's quite encouraging and has to make everybody associated with the WTA and the Turkish Tennis Federation feel pretty good about the first of 3 years hosting this season-ending championships. Even the doubles final today was almost at capacity, which was very encouraging as well. The Turkish people really embracing women's tennis. It's the championship of the TEB BNP Paribas WTA Championships Istanbul, as the final match will decide who will have their name etched on the trophy in 2011. Will it be Petra Kvitova of the Czech Republic, or will it be that young lady Victoria Azarenka of Belarus? It's all on the line today. And these are the 2 most deserving through the course of this week. A round-robin format that's played over 4 days. 2 groups of 4 split into the red and white group were decided on Sunday. They played Tuesday through Friday. The 2 best players from each group met in the semifinal format, and Azarenka and Kvitova emerged as the 2 players to vie for the title.
This really is the young players that are out here today are the next stepping stone of the greats of the women's game, and women's game, and I really feel Petra Kvitova has gone from 34 in the world 12 months ago to the doorstep of possibly number 2. And is Vika Azarenka going to be standing in her way?
Well, she's certainly going to start by trying to upset the balance of Kvitova's game. She served very well, has the Czech, but it was the Belarusian who won the toss, elected to receive. She'll stand at the top of your screen as the championship from Istanbul is underway. The third member of our broadcast team. We had the pleasure of seeing her earlier during the pre-match interviews. She's courtside, Katrina Adams.
Well, Kevin, I had the pleasure of speaking with both the coaches, and for David, the coach of Petra, he said it's simple. She needs to serve well and use her lefty serve. But for today's match, she needs to use a lot more variety. She needs to use the slice. She needs to use a drop shot, not just clobbering the balls back, because Vika likes the pace. And as for Vika's coach, with Sam Sumik, he says, you know, Vika has had some good results in the past, but it's about today. It's about her coming out here and showing how well she can play, be consistent, and be aggressive.
Thank you, Katrina. We'll see how the coach's vision for this match plays out.
There's already what Katrina was talking about from the variety that is necessary from the coach of Petra Kvitova to use the slice, give some different pace. And the reason why is that she hits the ball so well from the baseline with pace, but Vika Azarenka loves that. She feeds off it. So we will see some variety of the slice and the drop shot today. She doesn't really have top spin to get the ball above the shoulder of Azarenka, so not a lot of variety in the Kvitova game. We'll see it today. Another thing that Petra Kvitova has done so well this week is illustrate that left-handed serve. And she knows against Vika Azarenka, she has to hit that one out wide very well today. Yesterday, she on a big point or two, she could kind of get away with that against Stosur because Stozur's backhand is not her strength. Today, a different story. No doubt, as Wimbledon champion, you would think that you would possibly say handles the bigger matches better because Azarenka's never been to a Grand Slam final. But even having said that, I can tell you, both of these young ladies will be as nervous as one another.
And a strong start for Kvitova as she puts her name on the board first with the hold. And the players will switch ends as each trying to pick up this title. It hasn't really been difficult to look back over the history of the 41 years this event's been held and look for players from the Czech Republic that have done well here, to say the least. Technically 3 titles to this land that Petra Kvitova comes from. Martina Navratilova winning back-to-back titles in 78, 79 before she became a naturalized citizen in the United States and picked up another 6. And Yana Novotná won this title back in 1997. For Belarus, well, Victoria Azarenka continues to write a whole new history for that nation as she would look to become the first ever from her country to win the year-end championships.
Yes, Natasha Zvereva back in the day made it to the championships a number of times, won it a lot of times in doubles, but this is writing a new history for the Belarusian country.
It's important to make the demarcation between the success and doubles, but what now Vika is trying to do is really rewrite everything in singles and become the first champion in singles and get up to number 2 in the world at the same time, and that's the formidable task to take on that woman today.
And that to me is going to be the big difference, I feel, for the day. If Azarenka does not serve well, she is going to be in trouble. Her composure, her fitness, everything is improved under the guidance of Sam Simic, her coach. Former Vera Zvonareva coach. He's done a great job with getting Vika Azarenka to the top echelons of women's tennis.
It's a partnership that began back in 2010, where Azarenka finished for the 2nd straight year inside the top 10, but obviously with the results that have come through 2011, she has elevated herself in amongst the elite players.
Chomping on her gum also in that shot is ex-pro player Mei Lin Tu, who happens to be Vika's agent and Sam Simic's wife.
Keeping it all in the family.
So let's just say the success of Vika Azarenka really does help that household in many ways.
The big lefty swinging easy. She loves the indoor environment. She gets that pure ball, and with that big forehand, she can be so devastating. Just 2 winners already in the early stages, and both coming from that side. Players are starting to learn to fear that forehand.
Once again, the capacity crowd here in Istanbul really appreciating the tennis that we're seeing.
Well, Renee, Kvitova was responding to her coach with that last drop shot. He said it's very important that she uses the whole court and change up the pace. She caught Vika on her heels.
Really good serve out wide, obviously, in this side of Vika Azarenka on the backhand. She can go either way with that backhand, cross or down the line, very easily. And often I will talk about the double faults and why they come, and there's no question that the return game of Petra Kvitova will cause a lot of double faults today.
Kvitova just doing her part to hang around, cause a bit of disruption in Azarenka's service game. Couple that with a double fault, and Vika is now facing a break point. And throughout the championships here in Istanbul, Kvitova doing a great job. You talked about the return. She's been strong, winning 61% of those break opportunities.
That is a very, very high number. And you can see why the number is so high. Look at the shoulder turn and just absolutely rips this down the line. You hear that very present poch that comes out of her mouth, which is the Czech word for come on. Really, really important for Azarenka to serve well today, because the return game of Kvitova is so dangerous. Victoria Azarenka has a tremendous return of her own. The difference is it's negated by the very big left-handed serve of Petra Kvitova. So when she has any kind of an opportunity, she has to make the return.
On base, 15 on.
Again, we saw the big serving yesterday against Stosur. Both Stosur and Kvitova really have the big serves of anybody here in the tournament, and that has really helped Kvitova throughout the tournament. The indoor surface is getting quicker and quicker as the week has gone on. And I'll explain how and why that has happened. This type of a surface at the very beginning of the tournament when they laid it down was quite sticky, and a lot of players were talking about it being rough. And then throughout this tournament, because there's been so much play on the court, not only with practice and with matches, that roughness to the court has started to become smoother. And so when that happens, the ball doesn't grab on the court and it's shooting through. And Petra Kvitova and Azarenka do like the faster court.
She's on the move, Petra Kvitova. She's won twice as many points as her opponent, and all 3 opening games. Racing out to the perfect start here in the championships in Istanbul.
Kvitova leads 3 games to love.
Back in Istanbul for the TEB BNP Paribas WTA Championships. A lot of prize money, $5 million to be exact, to be split up amongst the players. If Petra Kvitova wins this match, she will be perfect and win $1.75 million. Runner-up, she'll get $890,000. Now, Azarenka, a little discrepancy in her numbers because she lost her match to Bartoli, so she can't ascend all the way to that $1.75 million, but she'll get pretty close. It's still a good payday if she's champion at 1.6. So I don't think she'll be ruining that decision or that loss too much. But what she does want, she wants a win, and she hasn't been able to get on the scoreboard yet as she serves at love 3.
Yeah, I'd take the one loss if she were to win that match, then be undefeated and lose in the final. So that's all thrown out the door now.
Yeah, let's go back to your point a moment ago, though, why the girls like the surface, Renee. You're saying basically as if it was a rough sort of texture on top of the surface that has been worn down, maybe like sandpaper or something to polish it off. That makes it slicker and quicker.
Yeah, if you think about sandpaper and when you use it, what happens with it? Those little granules of sand almost, they become worn down and they disappear. And that's sort of what this surface is like.
So sort of that gripping nature in the early days has now been smoothed out, and it allows the ball to move quicker through the court.
Yeah, they're almost like all individual types of boards on the court, and it's hard to describe unless you walk on it, but that's exactly what happens. And throughout the week, Petra Kvitova I had a little word to before the match today, and I said, how's the court playing? She said, it's definitely gotten faster through the week. I also asked her, is it similar to the tournament you won in Linz? The similarities with that tournament and this one, she said, almost identical. So definitely helping her.
First service.
Victoria Azarenka won the lead-up tournament in Luxembourg. The surface is just a little bit different there. So if you want to give the edge as far as surface and how they like it, you probably have to give it to Kvitova, but very similar.
If you want to extend that point, not just the surface itself, but we said Kvitova's 18-0 indoors this year, and arguably all 5 of her events that she's won this year have been sort of an enclosed structure.
They've had some type of a roof, whether it was actually closed or at least available. She's won every single tournament this year with a roof available to her, so maybe it's a superstitious thing as well. And Victoria Azarenka, no question, likes to play indoors as well, having won that tournament just last week in Luxembourg. But the only difference that I feel, if I had to pick somebody today, would be Kvitova, is the serve. It really is so effective for someone like Petra Kvitova, who really has a big serve. Vika Azarenka's serve is not necessarily one of her weapons. And you know, you get a first serve in there, and it was a pretty good serve. 151 kilometers, not huge, but it just comes back almost twice as hard.
Philip Hook, chairman of the All England Lawn Tennis Club in Wimbledon, where Petra Kvitova was the champion this year, watching his reigning queen about to break Azarenka for a 4-love lead. And a little help from Azarenka gets to the goal. It has been a tough start for Azarenka already through 4 games, 7 unforced errors and broken twice.
Oh, and I was just thinking, well, that's a great serve down the tee, and really given herself now an opportunity for an easy second shot, which is what we've seen for Petra Kvitova throughout this match, and then duffs the easy forehand. So not a terrific start for Azarenka.
It's the final day of voting. If you go to facebook.com/WTA, you can vote for your favorite singles player, your favorite doubles team, your breakthrough player of the year. It's on the WTA page at facebook.com/WTA. Voting ends today, so cast your ballot. Perhaps for Petra Kvitova, she could potentially win 2 different awards. She's up for singles player of the year and breakthrough player of the year. And everything is working.
I have to give a lot of credit also to the coaching of David Kotcha, her coach. They've been together for the last 3 years, and I was talking to Dave Taylor this morning, who's Sam Stosur's coach, and he said, you know, that guy just doesn't get enough credit. And I think it's because he's very, very silent in what he does. He's a terrific influence over her. They have a really good relationship, almost like a father figure to her on the road. And look at the job that he's doing with his young charge. And there he is, very, very content today.
Petra Kvitova has lost just 3 points on serve, and she has yet to lose a game. A perfect 5-0 start. She is dominating the championship through this opening set here in Istanbul.
18.8 million passengers around the world answered the same question. Which is the best airline in Europe? Turkish Airlines was voted the best.
Disappointment early for Vika Azarenka as she tries to settle herself and not succumb to the pressure of just being completely overrun here in this opening set. Look at the numbers, Renee Stubbs. It has been Kvitova +6 on the differential to winners and errors, and Azarenka 7 on forced errors, broken twice.
Well, it's not a massive discrepancy, really, when you look at the scoreline. But it seems to me that she's just winning all the big points.
Yeah, when the points are necessary and Petra has to come up with something big, she has been true. It has been pure hitting. She has really pushed Azarenka around.
And that's where it's hard for Vika Azarenka, because she's probably thinking, what do I really need to do here? Maybe increase the winners. That's about the only thing. Difficult to do against the heavy ball of Kvitova.
And a hold to serve wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, there's no question. A lot of first serves and no unforced errors on the second shot. Like there, and the easy one that she missed to go down 4-love. She cannot afford to do that kind of stuff today. Not against someone like Petra Kvitova, who's really in the zone. It's the most animated we've seen Sam Simic the entire tournament. Very verbose right now.
Mentioned this is their 6th meeting, with Azarenka taking the opening 2 and Kvitova running off the last 3. Their meeting at Wimbledon last year in the 3rd round saw Kvitova winning a tough opening first set, 7-5, and a despondent Azarenka was shut out 6-love in the second. This year it was a topsy-turvy performance in the semifinals at Wimbledon. With both players dominating their sets, Kvitova 6-1 in the first, dropped the second, but came back and won the match 6-2 in the third. So there have been overwhelming results in sets between these two in some of their matches.
Absolutely, but a very different player in Kvitova right now, having won that Wimbledon title, and the immense confidence that you have to have when you win a Grand Slam title. You can hear the crowd urging Azarenka on every time she wins a point. They want a match as well. They want this to be competitive. Almost every match this week has been very competitive. The crowd have loved every minute of it. So they want one here in the final, that's for sure.
The most decisive victories this week were actually from Azarenka, with her back-to-back wins over Stosur and Li Na, 6-2, 6-2 in both of those matches. As she finds herself just being completely put to the test here, as she's a point away from finally getting on the scoreboard. Some applause.
There's still a barrage from Kvitova coming in there, and Azarenka able to dig a game out on serve finally, and you can see how much this means to her. She's not going to go away. Tremendous fighting spirit. You don't get to number 4 in the world without having that.
So Kvitova will try to serve to take this opening set, as she has been performing marvelously when she's gotten that first serve in, which she's done 67% of the time, winning 8 of 10.
This crowd couldn't be more clear as to how much they are enjoying this match and how much more tennis they want to see. They have just been ignited all week long, and tonight, wow, it's amazing. A full house.
Katrina, are you getting the sense down there as we are here, because you're in the open air of this stadium, that the fans definitely are starting to rally behind Azarenka? Might be a little too loud for Katrina to hear our questions, so we'll just let the applause that you hear now show that as much as Kvitova.
How loud is it down there?
It's extremely loud because I can't even hear you. It's amazing.
No one's ever said that to me.
Write that one down. On our quote wall, as Azarenka really starting to make her move now. You can sense it. Look at her body language, the shoulders back. She no longer has that quizzical look on her face as to what's happening out here. Why do I have no answers for Petra? A chance to get one of the breaks back.
Helped along in this situation by some unforced errors, and that hasn't happened too much in the first set.
And a break at love for Azarenka. Incrementally trying to find her way back in this opening set, and that's the fight of the Belarusian, not willing to concede. It is still a 5-2 lead in favor of the 3 seed.
Istanbul. 25-30 Ekim Sinan Erdem Spor Salonu.
That's been a solid year for Vika Azarenka, picking up her 6th, 7th, and 8th titles of her career by winning in Miami, Marbella, and last week in Luxembourg. She's trying to become just the 3rd player this year to win 4 or more titles and join the likes of Caroline Wozniacki and her opponent Petra Kvitova. The Dane with 6 titles to her credit, the Czech with 5, as Azarenka mounting the comeback from 5-love down, serving to close the gap to 5-3.
Sometimes we players are a little fickle in the brain, and winning a set 6-love is great, but sometimes you're almost waiting for the shoe to drop because you're almost perfect. So I don't know if this is a positive for Kvitova or not to lose those 2 games. Depends on how much of a comeback Azarenka can make, but a good one for Azarenka just to get onto the board and feel just a little bit better. That set must have been feeling like it was going very quickly.
Pair of double faults now for Azarenka. That doesn't help her cause as she tries to continue this first set. Half chance for Kvitova. She's looking for her third break. And what it would mean to Kvitova as well after just these last two games, a bit of a hiccup. If she can break here to open the second set serving and apply that much pressure to Azarenka.
Well, it's a strange thing sometimes when you're playing in the finals and you're playing against somebody who you know is very, very good. You win that first set 6-love, it's like, okay, I can't get any better than that. And it's almost good to have that hiccup at the end of the first set than early in the second. 2 set points.
Nice job by Azarenka to move Kvitova around. The Czech looking to buy a little time on that lob, but not nearly deep enough.
A really good job there by Azarenka to let that bounce take her time and really give it something into the open court. And she's taking her time right now. She knows the importance of this very point. And the unforced errors are growing for Petra Kvitova. And she will have these runs. She'll have games where she's on fire, hitting winners all over the place, and will give you some unforced errors. So a good job by Vika Azarenka to hang around in this first set.
She is. Azarenka makes it 3 straight games, and now it's whether the nerves of Kvitova, who has already served for the set and been broken, can finally finish things off, or if Victoria Azarenka has done enough to spoil this opening set for the Czech.
Well, this is a little bit reminiscent of the match with Stosur yesterday, where Kvitova really was in early command of the match, up a break, serving out of her mind. And then Stosur just hung around long enough and then ended up winning the first set. And this is what started to happen with Stosur as well. Just mistakes off of the racket. She doesn't really have game plan B. It's all or nothing. And when it's on, as you saw early in this match, it's absolutely unbelievable. But then all of a sudden, the wheels come off. And it's her ability to be able to get that back. But a great job from Azarenka. Right there, Kevin, you see her move up to this forehand. This would be one she would have just absolutely ripped. But she kind of guided that one, and you could almost sense that Azarenka could see exactly where that ball was going. This is where you'll see Kvitova. She has to make a decision quickly right here. Am I going to play safe or am I going to go for it?
Well, please.
Things have gotten shaky for Kvitova. She had won 12 of her last 13 service points to get to 5-love. She has lost 7 straight points when trying to serve out the set. Azarenka looking to remain perfect and get back on serve. triple break point. Already 1 of 1.
Now this will be interesting, because if this ball's in, the umpire is going to have to make a quick decision of whether this was a winner or not, because Azarenka got her racket on the ball.
And there's the game and the break. Kvitova has fallen apart on her serve. Azarenka taking full advantage. We are back on serve after a 5-love start. The Belarusian right back in it.
Senege, tam ten game byl výborný, to si neudělal nic špatně, jo. A ono je rozdíl to dotahovat a pak to teda jako otočit, jo. Takže teď je třeba zůstat v klidu a zase, teď si na ten svůj servis zase zbytečně začala spěchat, jo. Ona už tam stojí, nech jí tam stát, vydejchej se a pak jdi teprve na return. A teď bych šel do returnu a normálně zahrál všechny returny, zahraj normálně do ní, jo. Do ní do prostředka, pokud to půjde. A když tě požene, nebo když bude rally, využij tam zase ten chop. 1, 2 chopy a ten další míč zase stisknout, aby jí to nechodilo furt stejně, jo? To, co hraješ, když potřebuješ prostě držet výměnu. Return do prostředka, hodně míčů křížem, backhand vyměnit s chopem a když to půjde, tak jdeš dopředu, jo? Tohle to vydrž. No tak, když je volný celý kurt, tak hraj tam, kde není, rozumíš, jen ať běží, jo? Když tam stojí v jednom koutě, tak nemá cenu hrát protiběh, jo? Zase, jednoduché věci, nic velkého nevymýšlej. Jdeme do ní, dáš to teď.
You almost get the sense that the soothing words of David Kotze, the coach of Petra Kvitova, and then he comes down and says, hey, listen, you had the 5-love start. Let's just get back to the drawing board and do what got us the success. Don't worry about the last 4 games. It'd be hard to put those 4 games out of your mind if you're Kvitova, because Azarenka has made a mad dash back. When it looked like she was on the ropes and about to be bageled in the opening set, here she is serving to make it 5-all.
He just has that way about him, doesn't he? Comes out, he looks like he's just having a stroll. They're sitting down in the park, discussing life. A really good influence over him. Maybe he should have come out at 5-2. But big game here.
This is not the same Victoria Azarenka we saw through those first 5 games. A bit listless. Maybe touched last 2 days ago and caught off guard from the power of Kvitova, who was finding her ground strokes. Kvitova's unforced errors starting to accumulate now as she is even in the differential, and Azarenka is improving considerably as her winners total starts to elevate.
That's what you call strength to strength. The forehand of Kvitova going to the backhand of Azarenka, and that was almost like a war of attrition, who was going to miss first. And clearly Kvitova missing a lot more than she did early in this match, and that must feel very refreshing to Azarenka. Sam Simic, as always, very stoic even when his player misses an opportunity like that.
This has been a terrific run by Azarenka, 19 of the last 22 points, and she is poised to run off 5 straight games of her own. poise might be the right word, or poise itself, because Azarenka has showed tremendous composure in being able to come back from 5-love down to make it 5-all.
Victoria Azarenka's mother too in the picture there with the white scarf around her neck, and she must be very happy. Katrina Adams down there courtside. What a turnaround.
When you look at the way that these two ladies are playing, it's more about what Kvitova is doing and not doing, more so than what Azarenka is doing. Kvitova was on fire, just hitting winner after winner, and then all of a sudden, Azarenka started to get a couple balls in play. Kvitova started to miss, and then she started to get tight, and you can just see her racket head acceleration has slowed down tremendously, which is what's forcing her to hit a lot of these balls over the baseline, and Azarenka now has a nice rhythm to her game.
You're right, Katrina. I mean, if you just look at the numbers, at one point, Kvitova had 9 winners to 3 errors. Since then, just 2 winners and 10 unforced errors.
This is what is so frustrating almost about Kvitova's game. She must be at times a nightmare to coach because it's so unbelievably perfect the way she can play sometimes, and then all of a sudden for 5 games she looks like she shouldn't even be in the top 50 in the world. And her ability to be able to handle these situations is the difference, I feel. Getting this back on track. And another example of that, those shots were not going in 3 games ago. Beautiful serve sets this up, and then the forehand to the open court. But for someone like Vika Azarenka right now, she's thinking, well, what do I do? Do I do X or Y? Because they sort of give you the same outcome at some point. Azarenka's not really doing anything differently than what she was in the first 4 or 5 games. She's kind of making a lot of shots. Her win to winner unforced error ratio hasn't changed that much. It's just so night and day with Kvitova.
Is there any chance that Petra now is relaxed because she's not serving for the set anymore? The 2 times she did, she was broken.
Possibly.
Cross court in the all-important 11th game, not serving to close out the set, but she had to right the ship. She had been broken twice at love, and the Czech is back in the lead. 6-5 opening set.
Kvitova leads 6 games to 5.
What's the secret to perfect skin? Uncover the precious power of Oriflame, a new fully uplifting skincare range by Oriflame with exclusive dark iris infusion. It boosts collagen and elastic production to make my skin feel full and smooth. A proven effect. Visible results in just 4 weeks. The precious secret? Oriflame Catalog. Powerful by beauty and more. Ask your Oriflame consultant.
Petra Kvitova in her debut at the BNP Paribas TEB WTA Championships here in Istanbul. As some of her fans, perhaps not traveling all the way from the Czech Republic, not sure, we'll have to check their passports, but nonetheless they are big fans of the woman who has won 5 titles this year, and that was a must-hold game for the 3 seed. That ends that dramatic climb back from love 5 down for Azarenka and puts Petra in the lead 6-5, where Azarenka getting her first serve in 74% of the time, and when she has done so, she has won 15 of the 26 points put in play. This is a must-hold now for her so that she can maximize the potential on this dramatic comeback.
Usually hitting overheads indoors is a little bit easier than outdoors because you don't have the wind or the sun, but look at that. She completely stopped moving her feet. My old coach used to say to me, when those balls go up in the air like that, go forward and make sure you have good footwork so you can go back to hit it. You don't necessarily want to be hitting that in front of you. Difficult overhead out of the air. Love 15. You can just see she's calmer. The game plan is back in play. Coming into the net, maybe not really out of her own terms, but look at that volley. I mean, are you kidding me? That was like a la no worries backhand volley cross court with a little back turn and everything. She might have a lot of power, and we've talked about that all week, but I tell you what, she has some beautiful touch at the net.
Opts not to challenge. Kvitova gave a thought for the moment as that forehand misses the mark, but ever so close as she's trying to find a way. 2 millimeters from the back of that line that she missed by, so wise not to challenge. Reverting back to the form that got her to 5 love for Kvitova. Well-constructed point. Great depth on the return. Backhand inside the baseline, and it sets up for Kvitova. Double set point.
And this is what I'm talking about. Azarenka is not doing anything different to what she was 3 or 4 games ago. The difference is all about the ability of Petra Kvitova to hit the big shots in the court. And she's done that. 2 set points. One erased with a very deep serve into the backhand side of Kvitova. She's standing in a long way inside the baseline. And that one was very deep into her body. Set point number 4. And this is a perfect example of when it's on, and when it's off, it's very off.
Oh, Renee, Petra was very tight moving to that forehand. It was almost in slow motion. that's the type of point that Petra needs to continue to produce out here, where she's in control, she's moving her feet, and a nice finish on top of the net.
Well, to me, this is about clarity of thought, and in the last few points, she's thrown in the slice backhand, Katrina, and that's what David talked about before the match. She's done that really well in these last few points, setting up set point number 5.
That took 5 tries, and she was hot, she was cold, but she finishes strong, and that's what she needed. Petra Kvitova and her camp delighted that the Wimbledon champion is 1 set out in front here at the TEB BNP Paribas WTA Championships. Well, there's the reaction in the background. You could see the coach, David Kvitova, and the camp for Petra Kvitova excited because they witnessed what was just a strange circumstance of 5 straight games. Brilliant beginning. Goes away, as you Australians might say, Renee Stubbs, on a bit of a walkabout. Couldn't find her game. Was back hot again. And now she finds herself with a 1-set advantage, closing in on perhaps the title here in her debut at the season-ending championships.
Absolutely. Just, she's such a nightmare to play for any player because they just feel like nothing is in their control. Azarenka didn't play a bad set. Her winners and unforced errors weren't terrible. Maybe a little too many on the unforced errors, but what a difference.
And there was a difference. We've seen it during the course of the week, Renee, but I'd like to revisit it, an expression you just used a moment ago. Clarity of thought for Kvitova. Sometimes she just loses that focus. What did you mean, clarity of thought?
Well, it was obvious to me. The game plan was to slice, drop shot, use a little bit of variety, and I just felt like once she started getting ahead full love and hitting the ball so well, it was almost she lost what the game plan was to do. Again, another illustration of what I was talking about. Because she's such a pure striker of the ball, it must have felt like life was so easy for her. She was just killing the ball all over the place. But she got there because she was using some variety. And David Kocher, her coach, was very adamant about that. And then all of a sudden, when it got to 5-all, the slice came back. And that really makes a difference because what it does is it brings her opponent forward into the court and then allows her to really use her power to drive them back off the baseline. You see Sam Stosur uses the slice as well, and she also is very good when she has clarity of thought in her mind, and by that have a good game plan and stick to it. Dave Taylor and I'm sure David Koster is very adamant with these types of players who are big hitters to be very clear about what they want to do.
Let her service.
Poor old Vika Azarenka is on the other end of that up and down type of tennis from Kvitova today.
Game 7, 40 love.
She was down 5-1 in the first set against Aggie Radwanska the other day, Kvitova, and was kind of all over the place, not concentrated on the court. And you can see how quickly she can turn some matches around. Coming back to win that set 7-6.
It's gone both ways for Kvitova this season, because you got to remember back in Tokyo in the semifinals against Vera Zvonareva, she was up 5-1, lost that opening set in a tiebreak and was shut out in the second and dismissed from the tournament.
Well, that just shows you when things aren't going well for her, it's almost like a train that's on the track that doesn't have brakes, which is also why at the start of this tournament I picked her to win it, because I felt like the train was back on the track. And when she gets going, it's almost like very unstoppable. She had that period after Wimbledon where everything was well and truly off the track. She said, "I can't hit the ball even close to the court." Those were her quotes.
And Kvitova starts the second set as she did the first, with a hold and the early lead. And I have to go on record as confirming during the course of our conversations and our production meetings that Renee Stubbs did in fact pick Petra Kvitova to win this tournament. Very much like Martina Navratilova, who picked Kvitova to win Wimbledon after the French Open. A lot of people wasn't sure what the former great was talking about, but she came to fruition there. Here's the numbers from that opening set that really started to look a little more similar because of the fact that Kvitova upped the ante when hitting the ball all over the court, not able to find it with those 16 errors.
Well, a few more winners on her side, and also the big one for me, 3 out of 7 break points and 2 of 2. Great record for Azarenka, being perfect on her break point opportunities, but the bottom line is Kvitova won the big one when it counted at 5-6 or 6-5, depending on how you look at the server.
On base 7, 15 love.
We're just at the mercy of the power of Kvitova. She hit that from behind the baseline. Azarenka not even in our shot. It just shows you how lethal the power is off of her racket.
Out! 13-15.
Very important for Victoria Azarenka to maintain some positive energy, because she was down and out of that first set and managed to come back. And even though for her she probably felt like she was totally back in the match, that's the way she has to still look at it, even in the second set.
So the exchange holds 1-all and gives us a chance to remind you once more about that website. I think it's the internet, Renee. I think you've got a computer somewhere that you plug into. You should if you don't, or maybe you got a little handheld device or one of those tablets. Anyway, it's at WTAtennis.com, the official website of women's professional tennis. They have the Strong is Beautiful campaign that both of these women are featured in, amongst 38 of the top players and some of the past greats, all out there showing the balance between beauty and some of the best athletes in the world. Strong is Beautiful. You can access it by going to WTAtennis.com. It is about the culmination of the year. You start on January 1st. All the players trying to, well, of course, have a tremendous season. Maybe win a couple matches, a couple titles, maybe a couple majors. In the case of Kvitova, her first when she captured Wimbledon this year. But she couldn't have gotten off to a better start. Winning Brisbane, running off those 5 matches, picked up 4 more matches in Australia before losing in the quarterfinals to Zvonareva. But all in all, backing up the Brisbane title with the run in Paris, where she beat Kim Clijsters. She won 16 of her first 17 matches of the year. But as indicative of what happened in that opening set, then after that tremendous run and that great form, she stumbled a bit through Dubai, Indian Wells, and Miami, and then went to the clay courts of Madrid, won the title there. Won Wimbledon, and then stumbled again through Toronto, Cincinnati, and a first-round loss at the U.S. Open before she found her form in Asia and then won the title in Linz.
Well, showing some signs of youth and immaturity as well, and also how emotional she can get. And it's usually Azarenka that's the emotional player, but she's really done a great job over the last 12 months of curtailing that negative energy. And now 2 break points for the Belarusian.
And Azarenka remains perfect. 3 of 3 on break points. And for the first time in this championship match, Vika Azarenka has the lead.
18.8 million passengers around the world answered the same question. Which is the best airline in Europe? Turkish Airlines was voted the best.
Already looking ahead to next year, 2012.
Time.
Waiting for the next WTA event here in Istanbul. Well, it'll be about a year from now.
Well, he's given his number out. I want everybody in the world to call him.
Oh, that's mean.
Hey, he asked for it.
He's going to have his voice mail filled up at this point, but hey, you can't blame him. One of the hottest players on tour, literally coming in after having won Luxembourg, riding that match win streak to get to the final as Azarenka with the outright lead for the first time in this match, serving 2-1.
Well, again, it's just not on the racket of Azarenka. She's going to continue to plug away, hit the winners when she gets the opportunity, try and not make too many unforced errors. But the woman down the other end just controls the match. Unforced errors, all winners. David Taylor and I, the coach of Sam Stosur, were talking in the gym this morning, and he said, hey, how good is the technique on the forehand volley of Kvitova? And there is a perfect illustration of how to hit. The most beautiful drop volley. Stayed down, kept the racket up, head up, and Martina Navratilova would be very proud of that one. Azarenka must be so frustrated with herself. She's been really out of the match, gets the fight back, gets an early break, and then all of a sudden, 3 break points.
Kvitova's gotten a lot more looks and certainly had those breaks early in the opening set before she broke to finish things off in that 12th game. Now looking to even the score.
Very passive, and you see it from her illustration to her coach, almost saying, I just didn't hit it. Watch, will demonstrate for us.
Might have been wise for Kvitova to challenge there. Sorry, Renee, that serve shown to be out by a slight margin, but it will stand. Exclamation that Kvitova has become known for here in Istanbul. That screech signifies that she has done something right, and she has gotten the break. It is 2-all.
Back to why she probably didn't challenge that one, Kevin, is that sometimes the serve's so close and you hit a good return and your thoughts really are about, okay, that's good enough, let's get the point started. Because if you get that challenge wrong, that's a point lost. So it's not so easy to make the calls on close calls for the players, especially when that action is so quick.
No damage done, to say the least. They have broken each other in consecutive games, and we remind you that facebook.com/WTA one more time. This is the last day of voting. Vote for your favorite players in all disciplines, singles and doubles. You can also have the breakthrough player of the year. This is the last chance to cast your ballot.
Just to let everybody know that she's not number 4 in the world and going into this tournament, one of the favorites for nothing. It is absolutely one of the most beautifully produced backhands, and you see the early shoulder turn and just totally rips this backhand.
136 kilometers per hour to be exact.
On base, 15-all.
Pretty gutsy almost to go out wide with that second serve after the previous backhand from Azarenka. Didn't get the feet up to that serve and really kind of just shanked it a little wide.
On base, 15-30.
Back-to-back breaks a possibility with a very good and aggressive play from the racket of Azarenka. And David, he's been pretty relaxed the whole tournament almost. But right now, he's starting to feel the pressure himself. That was an absolute bullet backhand down the line. And there's just absolutely no in between with Kvitova. Most people maybe get a little bit nervous, but I think the key to her game and why she's done so well indoors and particularly on grass, obviously winning at Wimbledon, is that she continues to go for it.
Trio of breaks has seen the lead seesaw back and forth, and this time it again favors the young lady from Belarus, Victoria Azarenka, out in front, 3-2. Well, an opportunity to look at some of the technology that shows how these two women have fared with winners, Renee. Azarenka, well, she's been putting the ball to the majority of the backhand side of right-handed players. As you can see, this is up, averaging 9 winners per match, though she has spread a few to the forehand side. But in comparison to what Kvitova has done, it's the Czech who has been just overwhelming.
I mean, that's just an incredible thing to see, isn't it? When you see 9 from Azarenka and you think, okay, that's an average per match, and then boom, it's like they're scattered all over the place, and so many just plastered on the line. Also shows you the power, Kevin, because a lot of those are in sort of not so close to the line, but still the ball's hit so hard.
And those are
she's
winners
able
that
to
are
get winners off of them.
Yeah, to hit through the court. And what you also saw just a few of, and that is bodes well for the future of Kvitova, those drop shots, those inside the service line, those balls that were placed just short of the court, that all that power, well, she can use some finesse too. Some numbers from these opening games. Already 1 set to the good for Kvitova, though down on serve second set. No surprise, Renee, to see Kvitova leading in both winners and unforced errors.
Well, like I talked about, really not a lot Victoria Azarenka can do except what she's doing right now, which is hanging in there, hitting some good shots from time to time herself and putting the pressure on Kvitova. A great match thus far for the finals.
Yeah, from what started to look like it was just going to be behind the woodshed beat down, it was just going to be all one-sided. Kvitova was going to march right to the winner's circle. Azarenka says, nope, I might have spotted you a 5-love lead, but I will not just give this match to you.
It also shows me the maturity level of Azarenka, and we're going to see a challenge on this serve. And it's just in 2 millimeters. Great job by the linesman.
She's been challenged a few times this week, that particular line judge, and has come out shining bright.
And just to finish that thought, the difference between Vika Azarenka 12 months ago or maybe 18 months ago as opposed to now is showing up as best as it's ever done in this final. The biggest match of her career. She's getting absolutely smacked in the first set. Keeps the composure, and look at the situation she's gotten herself back into.
On 13-15.
18 months ago, I can pretty much guarantee you this match would have been over very quickly. Maybe 2 years ago, Victoria Azarenka has really just improved so much in her game, but the emotional outbursts, that's the big difference.
Katrina can address some of that.
Say that again, Kevin.
Oh, we're sorry, Katrina. We keep throwing you under the bus there as the crowd suddenly just elevates their volume as we were going. We were talking about the emotional well-being of Azarenka and how that's informed her game this year. She's keeping things in check.
Well, she's so calm out here. You're not seeing any extra emotion from her, positive nor negative. So it's very balanced right now, as opposed to in the match when she lost to Bartoli a couple days ago. On the face of Kvitova. The crowd is so involved that I think both these players are actually feeding off of the energy, but it's Kvitova that's displaying the emotion.
Yeah, she certainly does, Katrina. I mean, she lets out that screech. I think my Australian co-commentator up here in the booth might be thinking there's some Tasmanian devils running around on the court when Kvitova lets out that screech, but it's pretty.
I've never seen, well, no, I have seen a Tasmanian devil.
Chance for a 4th consecutive break of serve. It's been that difficult for the server over the middle portion of this set. Kvitova has been broken twice. Azarenka avoids being broken for a 2nd straight time, at least for the moment.
Well,
just feel like
at this
shots.
point, see the fist clutch. Sorry, Renee. From Vika, so a little bit of emotion, but nothing over the top.
Sorry, Kat, I didn't know your mic was still open, but it's so exciting and intense right now between both of the young ladies out there. If this becomes a physical match as far as taking it to the distance, that might favor Victoria Azarenka. That forehand barely missed.
Azarenka saves a break point and ends that slide by the server for 3 straight games, and she puts herself in the lead 4-2.
Azarenka leads 4 games to 2.
Follow at WTA on Twitter for a behind-the-scenes look at women's tennis. Get the latest news, coolest photos, and videos at your fingertips. It's at twitter.com/WTA. You can see some of the tweets also from players or even former greats, including 1999 champion Lindsay Davenport, who commented and tweeted, impressive way to close out the first set for Kvitova after being up 5-love. You can see the tweets of Lisa Raymond, who responding to fans after she and partner Liesl Huber won the doubles title earlier today, as she thanks her supporters at twitter.com/WTA.
On base, 15.
One of the cleanest winners of the day for Azarenka, giving it back to Kvitova. big moments here. Katrina Adams court side for both Kvitova and Azarenka. You just feel like the tipping point is somewhere right about now.
This is a huge moment for both players. I think Kvitova really has to step up and put the ball back in play. And be aggressive on her approach. We saw it in the beginning stages of this match. She was attacking, she was coming forward, she was mixing up the pace, and then she elected to stay back on the baseline, of which Azarenka was able to really get a rhythm and get back into this match. But if Kvitova wants to get back on top and come out the champion, she has to continue to move forward and use variety. From Petra Kvitova.
Well, here's the variety that was mentioned. The drop shot, the slice backhands, and then the ability to flick this ball over the head of Azarenka. Perfectly judged top spin lob, and the racket of Azarenka just missing it.
Well, just as I said, she did. And it's really, again, it's not so much what Azarenka is not doing. She is playing a consistent match throughout. It's Kvitova that's in control of winning and losing the points. One thing I do think that is evident, as big of a match as this is, both ladies are well composed. They are so poised out here, win or lose the point, and that is really going to tell the tale at the end of the match, especially if it goes into the third set.
No question this match is becoming very physical every game, especially these ones that go a long time and they start adding up time. It starts taking it out of anybody.
Kvitova with a hold. She's the one forced to play catch up here in the second set, but she has that buffer, having taken the opening set 7-5 as the championship continues here in Istanbul. Back in Istanbul, Azarenka's already had one guy put his phone number on the screen for the world to see. They love her screen. There's Petkovic, who was an alternate here. She's got some fans as well. Never saw the court during this competition. The alternate Marion Bartoli did play against Azarenka on the final day of round robin play, but for Andrea Petkovic, no joy here in Istanbul as she just missed qualifying for these season-ending championships. Azarenka, what a marvelous return. The composure after trailing 5-love opening set. Dropped that set, but has herself up a break here in the second.
On bench second, 15 love.
Kvitova has just played such an up and down match, and on the other hand, Azarenka has just played such a good, clean type of a match, and the longer the match goes, the better for her. Absolutely even on points won. The reason I say that is because you just feel like Azarenka, as the longer the match goes, she's sort of staying in the same type of a zone. With Kvitova, you just never know what's going to happen. And that could also be very dangerous on the other hand as well. So I think we're in for a very interesting end to this match, either way.
Third second, 40 love.
Well, that's as close as you can get it.
Azarenka making a push towards a third set. Solid service game. Nets her a 5th of the 8 played here in the second set, and it'll be up to Kvitova to try to prolong the proceedings, or indeed a decisive set awaits us. Both these women have had impressive runs during the course of 2011 with win streaks. Kvitova currently riding a 9-match win streak, if you include her title in Linz. And an 18-0 record indoors in 2011. And double faults to begin this 9th game. For Azarenka, she did come in here with a win streak because of her win in Luxembourg, but then lost to Bartoli. But she did have a 12-match win streak early in the year when she won Miami and Marbella back-to-back. That is tied for the longest consecutive match win streak of the year, with Kim Clijsters and Serena Williams.
And I just feel the longer it goes physically, it falls on the side of Azarenka. So what I would be telling Kvitova is you continually must go for it. Come in, keep the points short, because the longer the point goes, the better for Azarenka. It'll be interesting to see if Kvitova starts trying to come in a little more.
On bench, 30-15.
Again, just lunging at that forehand, and you just felt like the longer that point goes, Kvitova is definitely starting to look a little bit more exhausted, definitely, than Azarenka. And you have to think about that match yesterday with Stosur, that 3-set match, very physical. And then Azarenka, on the other hand, had a straight sets victory over Vera Zvonareva. And all of these matches start taking their toll at some point.
And it might be important to note that the day off that Kvitova had, as she started the first day of play with the first match on Tuesday, she had Wednesday off. So she's playing for her 4th straight day, 5 of the last 6. Now for Azarenka, because she won Luxembourg, she had to fly in on Sunday. She did not play the opening day of Tuesday.
Renee, when you talk about the energy that's left, Kvitova is also on an emotional roller coaster today, which is draining. And as we've been talking about, Azarenka is just even keel. So that's saving her a lot of energy in that area as well.
Azarenka playing her 5th consecutive day. And the woman from Belarus, well, she's still up a break. She'll serve for the 2nd set.
Bravo, Peťo. Dlouho jsme čekali na ten servis do těla točenej. Víš co, ona to z ruky strašně dobře returnuje. A teď si zahrála 2krát takový to forehandový tělo točený a přišlo to, jednou byla chyba a jednou jsi to měla relativně nalitý. Jo, dokud si nejseš jistá úplně, že to trefíš totálně do rohu, anebo to zatočíš prostě, že tam nedošáhne, tak ona to jako perfektně returnuje. Takže tohle to tam vlož, jo? No a teď jak uděláš ten game teď, viď? To je otázka, že? Prosím tě, nasaď trošku dřív vepředu na tu přípravu, ať tam máš čas. Ona hraje hrozně prvního servisu a tam, když trošku zaspíš, už je to hrozně těžký a žene tě, jo? Takže Prosím? Zůstaň normálně, jak stojíš. Akorát nasaď dřív na nápřah, jo? A zase to napal normálně do ní. A pak můžeš hrát úhel, jo? Zbytečně, a když nedá první, nervy ten druhej totálně na riziko. Napal ho, ale zase klidně do prostředka. A pak už to ženeš do koutů, jo? Jdeme.
Well, the fans for Petra Kvitova hoping that she will win this title in her debut performance. It's a rarity that hasn't occurred very often. Only 7 women have ever come to the season-ending championships and won it in their first year. She's going to try to apply the pressure now to Victoria Azarenka. Remember, Kvitova in the opening set twice served to finish things off. Couldn't get it done, broken twice. She actually had to break Azarenka to take that 1-set lead. Well, she's looking to see if the Belarusian will succumb to the pressure of serving for this 2nd set once again. Or will this be their 2nd straight meeting that will go the distance of 3 sets?
Azarenka has just elevated her game. Really stingy on unforced errors, only 6 in this set. Well, Kvitova's making an effort to try and shorten the points. That was a great volley, but look at this ball on that very outside part of the line. Ever dangerous forehand, though, from Kvitova. Taking a hold of the point with the return of serve. Victoria Azarenka's going to have to get the serve in a good spot if she wants to maintain the momentum in these points. Oh. And I just thought that's the kind of serve she needs, and then all of a sudden it's back and it's a clean winner, and that's where Petra Kvitova is so frustrating to play. As a coach, you'd say, okay, let's get this one to the backhand and serve it well. And a clean winner off the racket.
Third overs.
13,676 in attendance today for this championship match. Putting their hands together, they want a third set. Azarenka could deliver if she converts her first set point. Azarenka believes it's the end of the set. Kvitova not so sure. She wants to see the review, and it is pure and true, right on the line. Azarenka forces a third set. One left to decide the champion in Istanbul. Well, she's got herself ready for a third set, does Vika Azarenka, and she really has shown her mettle. Why she's one of the top players in 2011 and why she's trying to get to the #2 ranking by virtue of earning it. And she has made this a one-set affair as they will battle for the second consecutive time. Of their 5 previous meetings, the first 4 were all straight sets wins. There were 2 for Azarenka, 2 for Kvitova. But their last meeting in the semifinals at Wimbledon, it was Kvitova in the semifinals, winning in 3 sets to go on to win the title. Well, now it will be a third set to decide the champion of this prestigious event. On the right, Stacey Allister, the CEO of the WTA.
Mr. Ricciabiti, president of the International Tennis Federation. Francesco.
Don't hide, Stacey. Come on out. You deserve it. A little airtime yourself. Congratulations to Stacey Allister for just signing a 5-year extension on her deal to be at the helm of the WTA. to Stacey Alistair as well as the Turkish Tennis Federation for making this such an exciting event. They've had more than 70,000 fans over 6 days, averaging 11,800.
Well, and that was the first time we've seen Kvitova miss that type of a volley. And is fatigue a factor in missing a shot like that? Fatigue not only affects you physically, but also mentally, and the drain and the strain of this week's tennis and winning every match, is that starting to take its toll on Petra Kvitova, as well as, of course, the fantastic fighting spirit and tennis from Victoria Azarenka. World number 2 on the line today, along with the victory. Already, first game of the third set. 3 break points for the Belarusian in the biggest match of her career. She's not ever been to a final of a Grand Slam, has not been to the finals of the championships, and her record on break points today has been absolutely outstanding, especially against the serve of Petra Kvitova, one of the best. If Kvitova is going to get back into this match, even though it's tied at 1 set all, she's going to have to get some free points with this big serve. Conserve some energy, or she's going to be in lots of trouble. I talked to Samantha Stosur this morning about Kvitova, and I said the scream when she yells out, "Poch," she goes, "Oh, is that what she's saying?" I just thought she was sort of screaming because she was so excited. She said to me, I said, "It doesn't bother you, does it?" She goes, "No, because she's such a nice girl, and you know it comes from this place of emotion and not sort of in your face."
Not gamesmanship.
No.
Oh, that could change if she continues running up years with 5 or 6 titles. Opponents on the other side of the net might just say, all right, we're a little bit tired of this. You keep winning and then you keep screaming. But yeah, it certainly seems to be a pure exclamation and not something to try to get in her opponent's head. As she tries to fend off a third break point. Well, 3 straight streams after love 40 gets her to deuce, and that's the type of pure hitting we've seen, and it's amazing that we just can't seem to see her produce this on a regular basis. There have always been, each and every match, just a tiny bit where she's faltered and hit a speed bump, but it hasn't hurt her yet. She is unbeaten here in Istanbul as she produces one of her 18 forehand winners amongst the 30 total on the match. And that's exactly what we're talking about. That inconsistency, looking so brilliant and then not.
was a gutsy volley. And the reason I say that is because she hit the big forehand and followed it up into the net and kind of got a bit of a floater and then hits the drop volley. That is usually under pressure, a lot more difficult to hit than a hard volley. But really doing a pretty good job at holding off some big points here.
Musters a third ace. And after saving 4 break points, looks to hold for the 3rd consecutive set to begin. She has served first in each of these 3 sets. And for the 3rd time, Kvitova holds for 1-love. Well, Renee, you know what we like to do every once in a while. We tend to try to always look forward, but sometimes we like to look back. How about that second set and the numbers? Why don't you break them down for us?
Well, there probably wasn't a lot of difference in the play of Azarenka in the first set. And you'll see with Kvitova, just the unforced errors completely different to what they were in the first set. 16 unforced errors, a very methodical set from Azarenka. And the big difference again, if you'll see, 1 of 3 break points, Azarenka 2 of 3. And when I look at stats and I see mistakes and winners and all of those things matter, of course. Movement to the net, how aggressive you be, but really what comes down to winning the big point. And sometimes it's just 1 or 2 break points that can be the difference between winning and losing a match. And that's very obvious in both the first set and the second set.
Numbers that might be interesting to those assembled and viewing wherever you are in the world. Number 2, that is what both of these players are looking for as far as their ranking. Whoever wins will slide into 1 spot below Caroline Wozniacki. 60 for Kvitova. If she gets the victory, that will be how many wins, match wins to be more specific, in 2011. Only Wozniacki has more than 60 at this point. That would be the 6th title of the year for Kvitova, or the 4th title for Azarenka.
Thank you.
Well done, Eva Azdaraki.
Yes, the umpire just asking for no flash, because that's the 2nd time that Kvitova has made that gesture that people are using flash behind the court. The reason why it's so maybe distracting on this particular court is that it is a lot darker around the outside of this court than it normally is for an indoor event, or any event that is. And so the flash is really very bright in these circumstances. But Kvitova making no mistake on that easy forehand. You see right there, hopefully he's got his finger either over the flash or it's turned off. And showing once again her ability to also have very nice touch. And what makes her shot effective, anybody who hits the ball as heavy and as deep as someone like Kvitova, when they decide to throw in that short one, it is so much more effective just because their opponent tends to be a long way behind the court. Davai Vika, which means come on in Russian.
Well, that screech is becoming more present with every point that Kvitova wins, and she has come back from 30-love to break point.
You can feel the level of intensity that has risen in Kvitova after every point in that scream of come on in her language. But really taking it to Azarenka and trying to get this break.
Very even on break points made in this match.
And the decibel level continues to rise from Kvitova, and Azarenka can't believe it.
She is in utter shock of that miss.
Now,
or
was
how
that,
she missed it.
Katrina, was that scream from Azarenka or from Kvitova?
No, it was from
both?
Kvitova.
I think they both simultaneously might have gotten it off there, but the decibels of Kvitova almost drowning out the youngster from Belarus. She has dampened her spirit ever so slightly. The air gets Kvitova to 2-love.
Do you think they care? I mean, really? Both of them. Are they showing enough emotion?
Well, I think they are. You guys have alluded to it this whole time. They're feeding off this crowd. I mean, this is an unbelievably in-tune tennis fan base that doesn't have a lot of tennis history to build on. They're just enjoying these world-class athletes.
Uh-oh. Be interesting to see how Azarenka rebounds in this game. I mean, that was a huge miss and an early unforced error in that rally.
Was that a reaction towards her bench? Was it a -1 or a +1, Kat?
Looked pretty negative to me.
Sounded as such, too.
It's in. There was a huge fist pump after that forehand winner down the line.
13 love.
You see the big, long lefty strides, the flick down the line, and the look over to her team as to say, come on, I am back now.
Kvitova has raised her level. She's taken it up a notch. She is really going for broke again, but everything is golden right now.
Playing some inspired tennis.
That was a service toss she should have caught. It was well out in front of her.
Well, no matter what the scoreline, she is going to be nervous until the very end of this match.
Impressive run to start this third set from Petra Kvitova as she takes the opening 3 games. But important to remember, no lead is safe here in Istanbul.
Kvitova would set in 11. Kvitova leads 3 games to 1.
Well, the beautiful service motion, the ease of the lefty from the Czech Republic, and she is absolutely beside herself after this point. Uses the slice, drops the ball short, and then does the right thing by moving in behind it, because she knows her opponent has to run up and hit that ball up. And you can see her excitement, and that's what David Kocher wanted her to do from the start of this match till the end, and she's implemented it again now, using the slice, the drop shot, and more variety.
An emphatic start to this third set by Petra Kvitova. She is the one who is dictating play. It is on her racket to this point. How so? Well, the statistic of winners by set in this third set, Kvitova 8 winners, Azarenka none, and the scoreboard reflects as much. As you see, the woman from the Czech Republic, she has found her form once again. Does Azarenka for another time have the answer? Serving at love 3.
After what happened in the first set today, with Kvitova just all over Azarenka to start this match, believe me, Victoria Azarenka is not going away. She's going to maintain her composure like she's done from start to finish today, and she's going to make Kvitova beat her today. Beautiful. When you've been through this once already in the match where you faced adversity and you were getting really a beat down in the first set, you know as well as anybody how difficult this match is going to be for Petra Kvitova to put away. She may be the Wimbledon champion, she may be 3 in the world, but she knows the nerves are going to be a factor in putting this match away. Her job is to stay in it.
Rodus Ombesh, 30-15.
Whoa, the ball girl almost got that one. It's a dangerous job when you're at the net as a ball kid.
Rodus Ombesh, 40-15.
Petra is displaying more and more emotion of negativity, more demonstrative after she misses shots now. It's something that we'll have to watch for. Pretty good shot from Victoria Azarenka. Kvitova unable to put this ball away, did not hit it where she wanted to. Nice touch, nice placement over that backhand shoulder of Kvitova.
Azarenka trying to find her way back once again. She hasn't been dismayed when she's fallen behind. She showed that in the opening set, and as Renee alluded to, it's just a testament to why these two players are fighting it out on the last day of the most important title in women's tennis. As Kvitova once again just tries to add more to the buffer that is her lead in this third set.
coach used to always say to me, Renee, or he'd say, Grubs, don't let the emotions get too high because the downs can be so down as well. And the one thing Azarenka has done throughout her career is that what you're seeing right now from Kvitova. The highs and the lows are so extreme. That's what she's done so well. Maintain the same composure, almost like Chris Evert, just from first to last point, the exact same way. Whereas Kvitova, as Katrina talked about, is going up and down with her emotions, and that starts draining you. And when things get a little tight, some problems can occur.
Second service.
You know, it's that fine line. It's that very double-edged sword of having that real fire in your belly, and she obviously has that. But sometimes it may affect her get tight. We'll be watching to see how it affects her.
On base. 15 all.
I can tell you, when you are nervous and you're a big server, getting 3 points like that off of a second serve feel very, very nice in situations like this.
Left for service.
Talk about painting the lines. Azarenka's forehand dropped on the very sideline, and Kvitova doing a good job running over there and just crushing it on the baseline. She's trying to control her heartbeat right now, her breathing, really get everything as almost as quiet as possible before the point starts. You see the players walk back right now. They'll grab the towel, getting the thoughts straight on where they want to serve, what they want to do, and also their heart rate is on probably about 180 right now. They want to get it back down so that it doesn't affect the way they swing at the ball. Getting Kvitova on the stretch, and then that is a shot you can guarantee that Vika Azarenka is going to make 9 times out of 10.
That dangerous serve from the left-hander going out wide, unreturnable by Azarenka. And what do you know? In her debut performance, she's making the ultimate splash. If she can win 2 more games, Kvitova out in front, 4-1.
18.8 million passengers around the world answered the same question. Which is the best airline in Europe? Turkish Airlines was voted the
Time.
7 times in the history of this event, the season-ending championships, a player has come to the biggest tournament in women's professional tennis and won in their first year. Tracy Austin in 1979, Andrea Jaeger 1981, Lindsay Davenport, Martina Hingis, Serena Williams, and Maria Sharapova have all done it. Well, for Petra Kvitova, as she is trying to put her stamp on this tournament, she is 2 games away from doing so. And standing in her way is a very talented Victoria Azarenka of Belarus, who is serving at 1-4. Just a single break of serve, the difference at this point.
As we've witnessed in the first set, Petra Kvitova can go off the rails as well. So it is Azarenka's job again to hang in there and be a real pain for the young Czech player. Well, that's only the 3rd double fault in the match for Azarenka. Both of the women have really served terrific today. 1 double fault for Kvitova and only her 3rd of the match, first one of this particular set. Makes up for it there with a beautiful flat serve out wide.
Good. On this, 40-15.
Azarenka trying to get to 4-2. Obviously, it would be devastating to be broken here and allow Kvitova to serve for the match. Just to clarify my point coming back, Renee, Tracy Austin, Andrea Jaeger, Lindsay Davenport, Martina Hingis all made the final in their debut performances at the year-end championships, but Serena Williams and Maria Sharapova won in their first year in 2001 and 2004 respectively. So Kvitova trying to be the 3rd to do so. Azarenka does her part. Her 2nd straight hold coming at an important time. And now we will see whether the nerves of Kvitova can hold up. Remember, she faltered a bit in that opening set, served twice for the set, was broken, needed a break of serve to pick it up 7-5. Does she start to sense the magnitude of the moment, how close she is to the finish line?
Important for Petra Kvitova to remember the game plan right about now. This is where you can't think about the finish line. You have to think about what's worked for you all day. And hitting winners all over the place is one thing, but sometimes is that not happening? You have to set the point up. She used the slice we saw. That was very effective for her. Drop shots and then setting up the big winner. So we'll see how clear she is with her thoughts right now. And sometimes when a player gets nervous or a little frustrated, they go with what they feel comfortable with. And what she's comfortable with is continuing to slap away and try and hit winners all over the place. But sometimes you just need to use the brain and the game that you have. And that's a good example. feet were not in position to hit that particular shot. That probably should have gone back cross court. She tried to go for the big flashy backhand down the line. And this is where you have to have composure and belief and trust in what you're doing. I bring up Stosur because she's kind of like the right-handed version almost of Kvitova. Doesn't have quite the power on the backhand side that Kvitova has. But Sam sometimes relies too much on a big first serve and doesn't use the serve to set up the forehand or move the ball around the court to move her opponents around to hit the forehand. And Kvitova needs to do that as well. Azarenka with a beautiful forehand. Right here, she hits the cross court and it lands directly on the line.
Left service.
Now you think, okay, I went to the tee then, she got it back pretty well. What do I do? Where do I serve this one? All this goes on in a brain of a tennis player after a let is called. And you can see maybe why she's clear. Because that went to the backhand, the better side of Azarenka, and she made a good swing at that one. And that one she decided to go to the weaker side, and it paid dividends because an error on the return.
The 39th winner, and Petra Kvitova is oh so close to hoisting the trophy at the TEB BNP Paribas WTA Championships, Istanbul. Might be looking at the champion of the 2011 year-end final, as Kim Clijsters is unable to defend her title this year. 2011, who will be etched right underneath the great Belgian on the trophy that bears the name of one of the true greats, Billie Jean King. Ironically, never championed at this event, as it began back in 1972. It's about the only title, Renee, that Billie Jean didn't garner over the course of her career, at least as it is called, the WTA Championships. It's been a long day for Vika Azarenka. She's been up, she's been down. She's been seriously down, and she's come back. She's done it all, and she's never wavered, but she's in dire straits. It is a hold or go home and pick up the runner-up trophy as she serves 2-5.
set. 15 love.
The only thing Vika Azarenka can do at this point is to win her service game and force the young Czech to serve the match out. Keep your composure at all times. This is the type of match as a player, and sorry, as a coach, you look at and you say, Victoria, you did everything you could. You laid it out there on the line. You played as well as you can. You just didn't come away with the win today. Very necessary for her to hang in here. Sort of like what I said to Sam Stosur yesterday. I said, Sam, you know, bad luck. You played a great match. You got very close. She said, yep, if I was going to go out or lose, I'm glad I went out like that, because she gave it everything she could, and it really was on the racket more of Kvitova in the end, who played a great game to serve it out.
Well, Renee, you cannot count Victoria out. I've been watching her the last couple of games, and she's been silently showing positive emotion. Just walking, shaking her head, pumping her fists. So it's not a lot of outward emotion, but she is displaying a lot of positivity.
Absolutely. Like I said, she knows how difficult this moment is for Kvitova to put away.
Wow. A difficult combination at this stage of a match when you're tight. A beautifully executed drop shot from Kvitova, and then a perfect passing shot on the baseline.
That was almost a little too close for my comfort if I was Kvitova. Well, Kevin, I have to say that's probably the worst unforced error from the racket of Azarenka today, considering the circumstances.
Yes, her 25th of the match coming at the most inopportune time. The crowd sensing the drama as the tenseness in the building starts to seize.
It is electric out here, Kevin. Definitely electric.
Azarenka got it into the body, and Kvitova didn't really do enough, and a terrific forehand under pressure from Azarenka. Live by the sword, die by the sword, and that is Petra Kvitova's way of thinking and playing. Just when you think, okay, maybe she'll get a little bit nervous, she just steps up and clocks the backhand down the line. 2 hours, 22 minutes, teetering on the edge right now.
It's been an unbelievable year for that young lady, the 21-year-old. 5 titles, Wimbledon her biggest. A point away from another triumph.
Let's for service.
Not only a triumph, Kevin, but the second biggest win of her career. The championships just below a Grand Slam as far as level.
You have to be impressed with the resolve of Azarenka.
Well, I love the reaction here. She hits this winner. She takes a little walk back to the baseline and takes a look up into the crowd. And I can guarantee you, she is loving the atmosphere and the support from the crowd right now. He has to be very pleased with the way she has handled herself under duress today. Her mother, agent, physio, and coach, very proud of their charge no matter what happens today. Petra Kvitova trying so hard in this point to get every ball back in the court, and a great judgment call from Azarenka to go back behind the Czech player. She was moving very well to the open court to cover those shots, deciding to go back.
And so it goes for Kvitova, looking to remain perfect, 5-0 at the season-ending championships and serving for the title. It's been an impressive run. She opened the week beating former world number 2 Vera Zvonareva. She beat current world number 1 Caroline Wozniacki. She beat Agnieszka Radwanska. Yesterday, Samantha Stosur, the reigning U.S. Open champion.
She has to maintain herself in these moments, Kevin. The nerves would be running through her body. Her heart rate would be flying. It would be absolutely imperative, I think, for her to hit a lot of first serves in the court and try and set up the point to be put away early and not a long point. Couple of unforced errors coming from the forehand side also of Azarenka in the last couple of games. We'll see if that's where she directs a lot more of her shots to try and win this match.
She held one championship point against Azarenka's serve. She has her second try. She did everything she had to do, and at the last possible moment, she came up with what she needed. The big point, as Petra Kvitova is the 2011 winner of the TEB BNP Paribas WTA Championships Istanbul, and she does so in dramatic fashion, winning in 3 sets, 7-5, 4-6, 6-3.
And that's where you go after you win a title like this. You go to the group that have been there for you from the start of the year to the end of the year. What an amazing year this young lady has had. 34 in the world at this time last year. She will be number 2 in the world tomorrow. Wimbledon champion, WTA champion, championships champion. What an amazing, amazing 12 months. I'm kind of a little speechless because it was an absolutely amazing match. The young lady on your screen right now has to be devastated because she started this match from the first point to the last point, gave everything she had, emotionally stayed in the match, physically stayed in the match, but it's that one right there that proved why she is one of the best players in the world right now.
What an opportunity for the 21-year-old. Wimbledon year-end championships. It's her 6th title. It matches Caroline Wozniacki for the most this year. Her 60th match win. A stellar performance running through this tournament, 5-0. And she just might be poised in 2012 to make a run towards that #1 ranking, because she's only 1 spot away at this juncture. She's going to be the new world #2. She is Petra Kvitova. She's standing by with Katrina Adams.
Petra, congratulations on a phenomenal tournament. What a wonderful display of tennis today. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it was really fighting. And I mean, every game, every set was very close, and I'm really happy that I made the important points. I mean, it was unbelievable tennis, and you know, it was the final, so why not?
You were 19-0 indoors, and Renee Stubbs said that every tournament that you won was also with a roof structure. What does that do to your game?
You know, I don't know. When I'm in the indoor, I mean, I'm feeling like a different person, and I know that I have to play my game, and almost everything is inside in the court.
At the end of 2010, you were ranked 34. This year, you are a Wimbledon champ, a year-end tour champion, and the #2 player in the world. Did you dream of that at all at the end of last year?
No, really. I mean, when I started this season, it was we didn't have a goal or something like that. We wanted just improve my game, and look at this. I'm #2 in the world, and I won the Wimbledon and championships here. So, I mean, it's a dream.
Congratulations on a terrific tournament from start to finish and being the year-end champion.
Thank you.
Well done, Petra.
Well, she'll be delighted. She will receive her trophy and her massive check, and that will be for $1.75 million. And truth be told, to the aggressor, the spoils, it was Kvitova who put the pressure on. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Amazing. That really is the big difference. The one break point that she won over Victoria Azarenka, 5 of 12 as opposed to 4 of 9, was really the big difference, because it was 6-3 in the third, and that's one breaker serve. 42 winners, 42 unforced errors. I mean, it's all on the racket of Petra Kvitova, and that's why I believe that we are looking without question at a future #1.
Well, here is match point. 2011. The spoils have come. There will be another trophy and a massive check coming her way. And what a basis to build on for 2012. So the ceremony to present the trophy and checks to the winner and runner-up down on the stadium floor. Here's your master of ceremonies, Andrew Krasny.
The WTA, Stacey Alister.
WTA CEO'su Stacey Alister.
President of the Turkish Tennis Federation, Ayda Uluç.
Türkiye Tenis Federasyonu Başkanı Ayda Uluç.
The President of the International Tennis Federation, Francesco Riccibitti.
Uluslararası Tenis Federasyonu Başkanı Francesco Riccibitti.
The CEO of Türk Economy Bankası, Varol Civil.
Türk Ekonomi Bankası Genel Müdürü Varol Civil.
And our tournament director, Marcus Günthardt.
WTA Turnuva Direktörü Marcus Günthardt.
And now I'd like to take this opportunity to give my microphone to Stacey Alister.
İyi akşamlar. You have been amazing fans all week. And my only regret is we can't take you with us.
Sesi diyor ki İstanbul'daki kalabalık için harika bir seyirciydiniz. Keşke sizi de beraberimizde götürebilsek. Nereye gidersek.
Tonight, as I watched the match, there was a sign that says exactly how we feel. The sign said, "We can't wait for the next WTA."
Bu akşam maçı izlerken bir pankart gördüm dedi. Pankartta bir dahaki WTA organizasyonunu görmeye sabrımız yok, çabuk olsun yazıyordu. Ben de tüm kalbimle aynı şeyi hissediyorum. Şu anda da Barkovizyon zaten görüyorsunuz bakın.
I know the players can't wait to come back to your wonderful country for the 2012 TEB BNP Paribas WTA Championships.
Ben de diyor bütün kalbimle inanıyorum ki tenisçilerimiz, oyuncularımız bir sonraki sene tekrar burada olmak için heyecanla buraya gelmeyi bekliyorlar yeniden.
In appreciation for everything the Ministry of Sport, the Turkish Tennis Federation have done for the WTA, the players would like to give Ayda a replica of their Billie Jean King WTA Championships trophy. Teşekkür ederim.
WTA olarak Türkiye Cumhuriyeti Gençlik ve Spor Bakanlığı'na, Türkiye Tenis Federasyonu'na çok teşekkür ederiz dedi Stacey. Ve kendilerine bir WTA olarak bir hediye takdim ettiler.
And now I would like to give this microphone to Mrs. Ayda Uluç.
Çok sevgili tenis severler, geldiğiniz için çok teşekkür ediyorum. Böyle bir güzel tenis haftası yaşadık hep beraber. Sizler olmasaydınız bu turnuva hakikaten olmazdı, bu kadar güzel olmazdı. İyi ki geldiniz, ayaklarınıza sağlık. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Ben de Türkiye Tenis Federasyonu olarak açıkçası hepimiz adına, sizler adına da WTA CEO'su ve Başkanı Stacey Alister'a Türkiye adına dediğim gibi sizin adınıza bu hediyeyi vermek istiyorum.
And now I would like to take this opportunity to start our trophy presentation officially and invite our doubles finalists to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Katarina Surbotnik and Kvitova. Their 18th final together. They are quite a doubles team. And before we hand the trophy to you, I just want to give an opportunity to talk to both of you for just a moment. If you want to face out this way, and just what an incredible week, and the love that is outpoured for the two of you at Istanbul, you have to be thrilled.
Oh, definitely. We had a wonderful, wonderful tournament, and not only the tournament, the whole year was incredible. I really do appreciate to play with Kata, and I want to really thank her to have her as a great friend and wonderful tennis player on my side.
Thank you. Well, I mean, yes, Petra said it's been an unbelievable week. The fans here are just unbelievable. Thank you all for supporting also doubles, of course singles, and you know, it's a pleasure to play in front of you.
Congratulations, and now to present you with your trophy, Francesco Riccibiti. Your finalists, Katarina Surbotnik and Kvitova. And now to bring out your champions, everybody, let's hear it for Lisa Raymond and Liesel Huber. Their 4th title together, Liesel's 48th trophy and Lisa Raymond's 74th. First, the US Open, and now the prestigious WTA Championships. The two of you have got to be so thrilled right now.
It's an amazing feeling. I mean, I don't think it's really set in quite yet. You know, Liesel and I started playing together in April of this year, and you know, really kind of hit our stride this summer and with the US Open, and then be able to finish the year here is pretty amazing.
And to ask you, the #1 doubles player in the world, have you ever been happier than this moment right now?
Definitely not, but I just want to say this couldn't be possible without TEB, BNP Paribas, without the Ministry of Sport, TTF, Sony Ericsson. This really, and all of you, this couldn't be possible, so thank you. I'm going to admit it. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I didn't know much about Turkey. I knew that there was beautiful rugs here, but I didn't know what to expect in this beautiful stadium. So out of the bottom of my heart, from my partner and from all the tennis players, I want to say this is the most amazing crowd we have played in front of.
Well said, Liesel. Congratulations. And now to present you with your trophy, Mrs. Aida Ulus, the president of the Turkish Tennis Federation, to present you with your beautiful trophies. They are stunning trophies indeed. And may I present to you officially, everybody, your doubles champions, Lisa Raymond and Liesel Huber, with their beautiful trophies. We still have two lovely ladies to talk to, everybody, so let's get right down to business and bring your finalists in singles up here. Please welcome Victoria Azarenka. Victoria, you have produced some stunning tennis this year, and what a fitting way to play the way you played this week. How thrilled are you at what you're experiencing right now?
You know, it's really hard to lose, but I'm glad I lost to such a champion who deserved really the win. You know, she played amazing today, and I mean, congrats, really congrats, great job. I mean, I gave it all today, and it wouldn't be that for you guys. You really kept kept me fighting all the way through, and you're amazing. You know, I have no words to describe it. I just wanted to, congratulate also Petra's team and my team. Thank you guys so much for being with me, and all the sponsors, TEB, BNP Paribas, Turkish Federation, and Ministry of Sport. You did an amazing event. You know, I saw you in June, and I really wanted to come here. You know, so I'm really glad I made it all the way through.
Congratulations, Victoria. Let's present you with your trophy. Vero Jivil from the Turk Economy Bankası present you with your beautiful trophy. And there is your finalist, everybody, Victoria Azarenka. And last but certainly not least, a happy face that all of us are becoming very, very familiar with. Your champion, everybody. Let's hear it for Petra Kvitova. Petra, you have a smile from ear to ear, and what a special day in your very young career. How can you describe and put it into words for us?
Well, I don't know if I find some words, but when I started the season, I didn't expect that I will be staying here as a champion and have a Grand Slam already. And I mean, it's unbelievable to play here, and the people was great, and it was nice play to hear. And I mean, the final was really fighting, and I have to congrats to Vika because you have a great season, and good luck to next season. And of course that I have to thank you all my team who support me all the time, not only this week. And I mean, it's unbelievable to have you here with me all the time. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Kvitova, and I know that you want to get this beautiful Billie Jean King trophy to be presented to you from Tamer Taspinar, and that is a beautiful trophy indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, your TEB WTA Championships Istanbul champion, Petra Kvitova. As we're getting these photographs taken, if Fadik, you can help me translate a little bit, because my Turkish has not been great this week. I'm learning a little bit, but I just want to say to each and every one of you, while we're having photographs taken of all these incredible dignitaries and players, that the crowd here in Istanbul this week has been record-setting. Every smiling face and every cheering individual has made this a tournament that none of us will ever forget. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we can't wait to see each and every one of you in exactly 1 year for sure.
Evet, Andrew birkaç bir şey söylemek ve paylaşmak istedi sizlerle. Bana da tabii onun sözlerini sizlere çevirmek kalıyor. Şu anda fotoğraf çekimi yapılırken şunu söylemek istedi. Bir hafta boyunca İstanbul seyircisinin gülümseyen yüzü, yürekten katılımı bu turnuvayı unutulmaz bir turnuva haline büründürdü. Bir sene sonra yine WTA Kadın Tenis Şampiyonası burada yapılacak. İstanbul tüm kalbimizle size teşekkür ediyoruz.
And Fadik, if you can come over here.
Şimdi top toplayan gençlerimize doğru ilerliyorum.
How about a round of applause
beraber.
for our very talented and very hard-working line umpires? Let's hear it for them.
Evet, çizgi hakemlerimiz, onlara da dev bir alkış alalım. Bir hafta boyunca gözlerini bu sahadan ayırmadılar.
And last but not least, how about our incredible ball kids? Let's give them a big round of
Top
applause.
toplayan çocuklarımız, gençlerimiz, onlara da dev bir alkış alıyoruz.
And finally, last but not least, may I say this correctly because you've been teaching me all week. İgeciler.
Let me translate. Andrew'a bir haftadır Türkçe öğretmeye çalışıyorum. O da bana bir haftadır tenis terimlerini öğretmeye çalışıyor. O Türkçeyi benden daha iyi öğrendi. Ben tenis terimlerini hala öğrenemedim.
İgeciler İstanbul. Ben Andrew.
Ben Fadik Sevin Atasoy. Burada sizlerle raketin ucundan fırlayan tutkuyu paylaşmanın mutluluğunu yaşadım. İyi ki varsınız, harikasınız.
Well, this might be a familiar scene in 2012 and for the next couple of years. Get used to that young lady, the 21-year-old from the Czech Republic, Petra Kvitova, holding the Billie Jean King Trophy. She is somebody who's going to be winning a lot more titles. And watch out, Caroline Wozniacki. Those footsteps you hear are Kvitova coming up from behind in the number 2 position right now. She's going to be looking for number 1 next year. And you'd be surprised if she doesn't make a serious push. It's been a tremendous week. The support of record crowds, 70,000 plus, if that's any indication. Boy, nobody can wait to get back to Istanbul in 2012. Well, the best 16 players of 2011 convened and 2 titles have been decided. And we will bid you adieu now from Istanbul. We will remind you that for daily match highlights, player videos, score updates, tournament information, and WTA news, log on to WTAtennis.com. Duplication, reproduction, or retransmission of the broadcast without the express written consent of the WTA is strictly prohibited.
Subscribe to WTA YouTube channel for all the best videos, press conferences, and trick shots. Nice, really nice.